totals here, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do that with the amount of time they have left, considering how difficult it's been for them to kill anything. And actually looking like with this few armor maintenance spots, they may just plain lose the Legion and topple this Tinker before the match ends.
Yeah, I think you're seeing the full force of those armor maintenance spots, or now the lack thereof, as they've killed off a lot of the heavies. Even those ones that they haven't killed off, these Armageddons are really having to micromanage and recall and put back out in the cycle time. They're losing a lot of rep potential. The Legion. Stable is not a good word to describe him, but he is alive at this point, and he is still sort of holding in 30% armor, even pulling some back. Meanwhile, I've looked at these Geddons. The only things I saw them neuting were a single Punisher, so I'm not sure if there's a strategy to that, but I can go ahead and gamble on saying that Punisher probably has no capacitor.
And I've been trying to watch to see if this Vindicator's doing anything. You notice there's no webs at all on the end of life side, which to me says, there's nothing in range of most of the damage from this team coming from the Vindicator, since he can't even get a tackle. And he is shooting, but it looks like he's actually shooting at drones. He's just killing geckos. So they're trying to clear off more DPS, which really doesn't do anything at this point. There's so little time left in the match. They may just be trying to save their Legion at this point, to save the ISK, because they're not going to win the match by slowing down the incoming damage. They really, really need to get some kills.
Yeah, and those are actually vengeances before anybody gets too upset, not a Punisher. But this Legion is going down, and that's far more important. However, these Armageddons have managed to get newts out on the Stratioses, which is not going to do them a whole lot of good because nobody is closing that gap, and now their Legion is chunking through structure, and boom goes the dynamite, there goes the Legion.
Right, so now end of life in complete control. It'll only be 40 seconds, so we can send you back to that fight in Hades to see what's going on there. These Tinker setups around battleships, this one especially looked really awkward, but it actually looks really close to being able to take this match. I mean, the heavy armor maintenance spots were definitely a vulnerability, and we saw end of life wear them down through those drones over the course of the match, but outside of that, they would have gotten this Punisher kill. They could have easily gotten a Vengeance kill. You see he's in low structure, and they would have won. And we saw the other team, I don't remember which team it was, not too long ago, maybe Fearless, I can't remember, but making this kind of setup work as well. So it'd be interesting to see if we have more of these kind of bizarre 6-man Tinker setups coming in. But in any case, Armageddon down, match winding down to no time now.
Yeah, and I'm definitely in agreement there. These armored battleship comps, especially this one, which looked a little kitchen sinky, quite frankly, it did fairly well. And the great thing about that in terms of your confidence is that if your tank stabilizes early, it gives you time to think, and that makes you happy. It makes you a little more comfortable. The problem is that's only half the process. So you have to establish your tank, you have to feel comfortable right off the bat, but then you also need to make progress, and that's the part that they couldn't accomplish with that comp in particular.
Yep. Anyway, good match. Congratulations, end of life. Moving on, Nameless Alliance. Maybe we'll see you next year. And with that, we'll go back to some ads and see you guys in a few minutes for more Alliance Tournament.
Okay, we'll just chillax for a sec, everybody, and then we'll just like graph like explode, and it's gonna be awesome. It's not gonna be worth 500 bill, but it's gonna be okay.
Do I have to like do it?
I want every dead motherfucker out of the alliance.
No,
every one.
Bro.
No mad.
So, do we have any setups that aren't a tinker?
Oh no, I bombed.
You bombed us.
So
I'm sorry, guys.
Hello again, guys. I'm CCP Rides here with Sir Squeebles, and we're about to watch Fidelis Constance fight Almost Awesome in the losers bracket of the Alliance tournament. And what do we have on the field?
For Fidelis, we have two Caracals and two Cerberus, two Myrmidons and a Rattlesnake as their DPS with only 3 Ishkars as support. And then on the part of Almost Awesome, they're running a Guardian, 2 VNIs, a Vindicator, and an Armageddon. 3 Kitsunes, a Tristan, and 2 Tyrannus. So sort of unconventional setups from both, more of a missile-heavy, hopefully kitey team from Fidelis, and then it's going to be an urgent chase, I think, on the part of Almost Awesome.
Yeah, definitely some strange choices here. We were wondering if the Guardian was there for cap transfer with the battleships, but the Almost Awesome battleships have actually come in at 0 on the beacon. I don't know if you guys have gotten a view of that yet, but the rest of the Almost Awesome team back at 50, putting the battleships in kind of a weird situation, actually, since the angle has it so that Fidelis Constance can actually cut to the side of the battleships and get to the rest of the Almost Awesome team if they want. But here we go. I'll have to see how this goes down. Kitsune is trying to get jams across those Cerberuses, which should work really well since they'll just turn their DPS off. And an Ishkar already going down for Fidelis Constance.
But in the same time, a Kitsune did die. Out in the Almost Awesome blob, I do see Imperial Navy Curators dropped, which are not designed to do damage. They're just to let your enemy know that you don't have the skills for T2 sentries. But a second Kitsune going into low shields and now armor, and I'm sure he's not going to last long. Meanwhile, Charles Gray fighting back from low structure. Come on, Charles, come on!
And in the meantime, this Vindicator from the Almost Awesome side has just powered straight across the field for this Rattlesnake. He's gotten a tackle on the Rattlesnake and is got his blasters trained on that. So ignoring the support war going on in the background and going straight after that battleship with nobody really stopping him. You can see now tackle applied to the Vindicator. We'll have to see if the Guardian can get in range for support. Another Kitsune down for Almost Awesome.
And no time for a moment of silence for Charles, as Sinara in the Ishkar is also low armor, about to go into structure. Meanwhile, Mystic in the Rattlesnake is really taking some damage. He's already half shields. They have no logistics on this team, as I think you've mentioned. He needs to start shield boosting scary amounts for us to be at all confident, because he's less than half shields. He's like a third shields and dropping. Meanwhile, the Vindicator of Taran on the Almost Awesome team is 2/3 armor. He's definitely taking damage, but he's going to at least trade for this Rattlesnake, and after that DPS is gone, I imagine he will go on an absolute rampage before he goes down.
Yeah, this was really strange. Like you say, he needs to be boosting, and he's actually not. I mean, I've been zoomed in there for a while. You guys are too. He's not running a booster. He went from 100 HP to 0 without ever running any kind of tank at all, and like you said, no logistics to support him. So nice job by the Vindicator there, going after the really vulnerable Rattlesnake, even though you wouldn't necessarily expect it to be. Vindicator is getting low, but you can see the Guardian's gotten in range to get reps on him, so he may be just fine now that Rattlesnake's off the field. Another Kitsune down for Almost Awesome, though.
Yeah, and the Vindy is stabilizing, and quite frankly, it won't matter even if he does die at this juncture. He's done his job in spades. He has now taken out the Rattlesnake. He's taken out one of the Myrmidons. Looks like Kari Trace and a Cerberus has taken a lot of damage. He's not tackled, though, so he's probably going to make it out. Taran pulling back armor. What a hero. Meanwhile, nothing tackled enough for DPS to apply. Fidelis Constance is down to 3 Cerberus and 1 Caracal. The skinned Caracal, it's throwing me off. A Myrmidon and an Ishkar, and that Myrmidon now is getting hammered, and he will not last very long. This Kitey Missile DPS for Fidelis might be able to survive a little while longer, but if this Guardian pilot is paying any attention whatsoever, this should be a pretty strong victory for Almost Awesome.
Pretty surprising that Myrmidon goes down now, but it seemed like the Almost Awesome Vindicator didn't apply tackle until almost the very end. I'm not really sure why. Must be really fun to fly a Vindicator in a match like this where you're really not under any kind of pressure at all. Usually battleships, especially single ones like this, get abused by E-War really badly, either by getting tackled away from the fight or getting damps on them or something, but he's just kind of had free reign to do whatever he wants, and it's worked out really well for Almost Awesome. Him basically by himself taking out those 3 core ships at the top of the Fidelis Constance team. Still a lot of damage going on to that VNI for Almost Awesome, but the reps from the Guardian keeping him up and trading back a Caracol now won't be much longer for Fidelis Constance, I think.
We've seen several teams field DPS setups that rely on missiles in the way of Cerberus, Orthrus, that sort of a thing. I don't think really any of them have really been all that successful. They're definitely good at killing frigates. If you fit RLML, they have great range if you fit heavy missiles. But it doesn't seem like they either have enough DPS to punch through substantial tanks, or it doesn't seem like they can get in on the frigate wing early enough to make the RLML choice significant. So I'm not sure I really am much of a fan of Caracol, Cerberus, Orthrus setups in this context, at least not a full team.
Yeah, I'm with you. It seems like you say, they're really good at killing support. The Kitsunes went down fairly early in this fight, but you give up so many points in your comp that you end up with, like in this match, a fairly weak heavy core that really can't compete against the opposition's usually heavy drone flights or other battleships. And just like what happened here, you end up just outmatched in that sense. And then by the time you finish killing support, the rest of your team is dead, and then the Cerberuses are just really bad against the rest of the main ships in the composition that you're against. So Almost Awesome doing a great job here. Vindicator pilot having a lot of fun in that match, and that'll do it for this one. We'll be back in just a few with Red Alliance versus Monkeys with Guns.
With day 4, that means that pretty much only the good teams and Test Alliance are left.
Test Alliance, please ignore. Worst of the best. Delicious spaghetti you eat while waiting for a prey to put its shiny paw into his career. So you always let jump, and let the body hit the floor, and that is how the glue comes from.